You don't even know World. World is my childhood friend.
Okay.
Listen, this is things. He wasn't
Didn't
really,
have beef with World?
Listen, that wasn't no.
The shooting that happened after the Hot 97?
Listen, this is when I don't even want to get into it.
Okay.
Y'all already know the rules. Soon as you step in, take your shoes off and go crazy on that like button. It don't cost you nothing, so show some love and run it up real quick. Now that we got that out the way, shall we begin? Let's get into it.
And this is something that really can't be disputed. And I watched this from the outside looking in. Gita had real serious street beef with a lot of very serious
Well,
guys.
who?
Jimmy Henchman.
They got spanked. Nigga, are you crazy? They got spanked. What is wrong with you?
What do you mean they got spanked?
Yo, yo, Vlad, please, trust me when I'm telling you this. I don't really want to go into all this, but they got spanked. What is wrong with you? Jimmy had his way. People died. What are you talking about?
Jimmy had his way.
What are you talking about?
I mean, Yayo's house got shot up over that situation. I understand that. But ultimately...
Think about what you're saying and think about what happened.
Meaning what? That Jimmy's doing double life?
Listen, in that situation, that situation, they wasn't a victor in that situation, brother. Okay, so it...
But I feel like these guys stood their ground.
Who stood what ground?
I think G-Unit stood their ground.
You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Okay.
And it's easy to go for with the folklore. What else? Who else?
World.
You don't even know World. World is my childhood friend.
Okay.
Listen, this is things. He wasn't
Didn't
really,
have beef with World?
Listen, that wasn't no.
The shooting that happened after the Hot 97?
Listen, this is when I don't even want to get into it.
Okay.
One incident happened, right? You think you really into it with somebody with one incident?
Suge Knight.
Yo, bro,
The
listen.
stabbing incident at the Vibe Awards.
Yo, listen. All I'm saying is, I don't have no reason to believe the extra gangster shit. You believe whatever you want to believe. I ain't here to tell
But
you.
we're talking about actual incidents. We saw the video at the Vibe Awards, right?
What happened at the Vibe Awards?
The guy that attacked them ended up getting stabbed.
Attacked who?
Attacked Dr. Dre.
What
Who
that
was
got to
with
do-
them?
What that had to, yo, bro.
They were there with Dr. Dre.
Yo, bro, leave me.
They
yo,
were
bro.
signed to Dr. Dre.
Yo, bro, listen to me. I'm not gonna debate you on another man. All I'm speaking from my perspective, and it is what it is. Like, I don't have no reason to believe nothing extra. Those incidents that you're talking about, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
The problem is, sometimes when people do interviews, they either don't go deep enough or they avoid asking the real questions. And that's exactly how I felt watching that Vlad interview. It's like he was trying to dig, but not really digging where it matters. Now, when it comes to Mayo, that's my guy. I've had real conversations with him, not no edited AI clips people be throwing around. We've talked on the phone, we've been in the DMs, so when people try to act like he don't know who I am, that's just not true. But at the same time, I'ma call it how I see it. Mayo drops a song, puts out these clips, and at the end, he's taking shots at YouTubers and bloggers saying they got no integrity. Meanwhile, people online acting like it's nothing, like he ain't really saying anything. Nah, listen closely. That wasn't no shout out, that was a shot. And that's where I got an issue, because you can't be cool behind the scenes and then come out publicly throwing slick jabs like that. Now let's get into the real part of it. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of allegations, stuff that's been repeated, stuff I've even spoken on myself. I even talked to his co-defendant, the same one calling him a rat. But at the end of the day, there's no paperwork out to fully prove anything, so that part stays in the air. But what we do have is Mayo's own words. He told stories about leaving his sneakers in the club, leaving when a situation went down, leaving his girl when she got caught in crossfire, running out, then having to come back in. And this is supposed to be the toughest guy in Nebraska? Then he goes on to justify it, saying sometimes people get shot by mistake. That's not a good look. That sounds like explaining why you didn't step up in that moment. So now it turns into a whole he said, she said situation, like some Hassan Campbell style.
You don't even know World. World is my childhood friend.
Okay.
Listen, this is things. He wasn't
Didn't
really,
have beef with World?
Listen, that wasn't no.
The shooting that happened after the Hot 97?
Yo, listen, this is when I don't even want to get into it.
Okay.
So let me get this straight. You tried to clean it up. You tried to justify it, but in doing that, you actually told on yourself. You said World was your childhood friend, your day one, your man. And that's exactly where everything falls apart. Because if that's really your friend, then what does that say about your loyalty? What does that say about how you move? You know you messed up when you said that. Let me ask you something simple. If World was really your man, what gave you the right to cross that line and deal with his woman? You telling me he's locked up, sitting in a cell, and somehow it's okay for you to step in like that? Did he call you from the penitentiary and give you the green light, or is that just something you want people to believe now? Because that's where the story starts sounding shaky. And this is the issue. When people move funny, they try to hide behind words, twist narratives, and argue their way out of it instead of just keeping it real. But if you're gonna be out here doing interviews, claiming to represent the real, then stand on the truth fully, not halfway. Because from the outside looking in, it don't add up. You got a situation where your so-called childhood friend is gone and somehow you end up in a whole relationship with his wife, and then when it's over, you discard her like it was nothing. That's not just messy, that's betrayal on a whole different level. And I want everybody watching this to really think about it. Picture yourself sitting in a cell, waiting on support, waiting on loyalty, only to find out somebody you trusted crossed you in the worst way possible. That's a different kind of pain. It's not just physical, it's personal. And yeah, people can try to rationalize it, try to explain why it happened, try to blame circumstances or emotions, but at the end of the day, certain lines just aren't supposed to be crossed, especially not with someone you call your brother. Now, people might try to understand the other side, saying maybe she was looking for protection, maybe she was drawn to a certain energy, and that's a conversation in itself. But that still doesn't change the core issue. Loyalty is loyalty, and when that's broken, it hits different, especially when it comes from someone you know, someone you trusted. That kind of betrayal don't fade easy. So now you asking people to believe everything is still cool, everything is still solid after that? That's a hard sell. At the end of the day, this ain't even just about one situation. It's about principles. It's about how you move, how you treat people in your circle, and what you stand for when nobody's watching. Because sometimes the worst damage ain't physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's betrayal, and that's the kind of thing that sticks with people. So while you out here telling your side, just understand,